straight into the transfer market shockwaves. Right now, there are three big signings that are shaking the whole world right now. Franco Mastantuono joining Real Madrid at 45 million euro. And then we have a Gundogan signing for Galatasaray in Turkey. And then Donnarumma moving to Manchester City. These are three big transfers that happened very recently in the world of football. Real Madrid's domination of the South American market. Smart strategy, or is it just money power? Are they just using the money to boost? They went for Vinicius, they got him. They went for Rodrigo, they got Rodrigo. They went for the young man, the striker. What's his name? The gentleman who hasn't proven himself. They got him as well.
The Brazilian.
So
Hendrick.
That's Hendrick, right? Thank you. So now they're getting this guy also from the South America. Now, their dominance in South America, is it due to their quality, the brand, or is it money that is talking?
I don't think it's just money. I think it's about the brand of the club. Real Madrid are no, I don't think there's anybody that can argue that they're the biggest club, in the world in terms of, trophy, accolade, name it, overall. I don't think there's any planet you will not see any Real Madrid, found, or anybody have said they've not heard about Real Madrid. But I think you could see a lot of South American players. There's this love for Real Madrid. Where you look at the kind of players, the South American players that Real Madrid have always had in the past, and a lot of South American players, most of them, they will tell you they dream to play for Real Madrid one day. But if you ask me about Mastantuono, he's a promising young player, and we just hope because I could remember there was a time I was in the studio here. We were talking about Hendrick. I said so far he hasn't lived up to expectation.
Exactly.
Because the hype around him, I don't. To me, I've watched him play several times, and I don't understand where those hype, came from. So
it was like they packaged him for Madrid.
And in fact, he to the extent that the former manager Carlo Ancelotti, who is now the Brazilian manager, now the national team manager, was asked, why did you drop him? He didn't even know what to say, other than he had to give an excuse that he hasn't been having playing time with his. Whereas you are the manager,
he doesn't need him.
But you are the manager then,
and you weren't playing.
So, but he doesn't want to say that it's not, it's not that. You understand? So you have to just look for excuses. But from there, I just hope.
So we move straight to Galatasaray now, landing Gundogan. That's a power shift in Turkish football. How do you think this will affect Turkish football? Remember, Galatasaray are the league leaders, and they were the winners from last season. They're the champions, present holders. 2 seasons ago, they also won it. So they're almost making it a perennial trophy for themselves. And remember the fate of Mourinho at Fenerbahce, where they had to ask him to go after one season for not getting where and the deliverables they gave him. Don't you think Gundogan joining the likes of Victor Osimhen in Galatasaray and the other great footballers that are there, don't you think it's going to be an absolute dominance like Bayern Munich in Germany or like Juventus used to be in Italy? What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I think the Turkish league can also be considered as one of the home for retirement home for players have performed highly exceptional where Turkish nationals Turkish decent but you look at the likes of Leroy Sane. They have also brought in the German also Leroy Sane to the club, and they have the likes of Davison Sanchez, brought in a lot of players. But I think what Galatasaray are trying to do is not about the league, it's about the Champions League. I think they want to progress and want to go for, and kudos to them bringing on Ilkay Gundogan back to Galatasaray there. And if you can give them at least 70 to 80% of what he gave Manchester City in his first thing, I think Galatasaray will definitely go far in the Champions League. You look at Galatasaray, they've been dominating the league, and the league recently started again, and they've been powering themselves also to the top. And their nearest competitor or rival is Fenerbahce, who are not, at the moment, I think they are still managerless now, and they've been knocked out by in the Champions League. So though they have only the league now though I think they are still in the Europa League. So, but they will want to focus on the league to at least to wrestle the league away from Galatasaray. But I don't look at the moment. If you ask me, I tell you that Galatasaray are the favorite to win the league. And about the Turkish league, I think it's a good one for the Turkish league. You look at it, but I just want those talents spread across, not only Fenerbahce and Galatasaray. Getting those players, and if both of them are those two clubs are the only clubs that can have the purchasing powers to bring in these players, or be able to pay those players. That means the other teams in the league
they're going to be running them down. That's exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be a dominant situation for them.
Of course.
So we expect them to be dominating the Turkish league, and anything short of that, and then getting into the second round of quarterfinals of Champions League. Anything short of that, then they do not make maximization of their money, because Leroy Sané alone, with the Gundogan joining that squad, all German footballers with the likes of Victor Osimhen and the rest of them on the squad.
And most recently, they also brought in the Manchester City goalkeeper. I think is it not Galatasaray that signed him? Just have to confirm. Ederson.
Ederson, yes.
Ederson Moraes. Is it Galatasaray or Fenerbahce? I just have to confirm. I think it's Galatasaray.
So we will confirm that later. So how about this transaction, Donnarumma to City? Will this likely solve City's problem? Was it goalkeeper problem for City?
Well, I don't think it's a goalkeeper problem, but I think it will only bring in a shift in the way Manchester City play, because we know the former goalkeeper now Ederson is one of the, when you talk about passes, goalkeepers that knows how to use their feet the way the manager talking about Pep Guardiola wants to play. I think you can't name 2 or 3 goalkeepers in the world that knows how to use their feet, and you will not name Ederson. And in fact, he has more assists than some midfielders in the league.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but for bringing on Donnarumma, kudos to them. He's a world-class goalkeeper. We saw, to be honest, I think the reason why PSG won the Champions League is as a result of the man talking about young Donnarumma. Because if you watch the match against Aston Villa in the first the return leg, it was the sole reason they progressed. Against Arsenal also, and even against Liverpool, make a lot of saves that could have knocked them out. But kudos to them. But
that brings us to ask this question: why did PSG push him out? Why exit Donnarumma when he just did serious exploit for them?
Well, I think I think there's an issue with the goalkeeper and probably the manager, because I see no reason why you should be bringing on. I'm trying to remember how to pronounce his name. The guy from I think Lille. They brought the goalkeeper from Lille. Yeah, and I don't think he's better than young Donnarumma. Donnarumma is still at below 30. Though the guy they brought in is very young, but morning, afternoon, night. Ask me between both goalkeeper, I'll still pick Donnarumma. But I think there's an internal issue, going on. So to avoid keeping an unhappy player or unhappy manager, so they had to let him go to Manchester City.
Okay, so rounding it up on those 3 players, those 3 transfers, want us to be decisive here. Fans want you to help us here with this decision. Which of these 3 players that we just mentioned? We started with Real Madrid getting the young man from Brazil, from South America, Mastantuono, and then Ike Gundogan going over to join Galatasaray, as well as the third one, Donnarumma, coming to Man City. Which of these 3 do you think will be most impactful in the coming season? Put it in the comment section, and as we progress. Now, looking at our young man from Nigeria, his name is Kelechi Iheanacho, who just signed for Celtic, and he's reuniting with Brendan Rodgers, his former coach. And what are the expectations here? Can Iheanacho revive his career under Rodgers? Do you think he can come back?
I just hope so, because Kelechi Iheanacho has gone through a lot in the last 2-3 years. He went to he left Leicester City after his contract expired. I don't know what happened. Is either the club did not renew, the contract, or probably the offer on the table was not what he was expecting. Haven't won the FA Cup for them, and helping them achieve a lot. But he went to Sevilla, and hoping that everything is going to click for him. But he couldn't get playing time, and even the little time he played, he was out of form. He couldn't get anything, and Sevilla had to loan him to Middlesbrough. That was the January transfer window where he ended. I don't think he scored more than a goal at Middlesbrough, and he came back now. Yeah, in the championship. That's the championship. That's the second tier of football in England. And now Sevilla. They are trying to look at the option of since it's not part of the manager's plan, and teams are not really coming for him. So they have to sit him and the manager and the agent, and they discuss on a way to terminate the contract, and they had to terminate his contract. And luckily for him now, Celtic, the former manager Brendan Rodgers, he has played under him. I believe Brendan Rodgers will be able to bring out the best out of Kelechi Iheanacho, because we saw when Brendan Rodgers was at Leicester City and Iheanacho was there, he was enjoying his football. I hope he enjoys his football also at Celtic, though it's a painful one that Celtic has been knocked out of the Champions League, so we will not be seeing Kelechi. Yeah, so let's see if just hope and wish him the best of luck there.
Now, just before we left that area, we're also looking at which reunion in football history can you recall has been fantastic and produced rejuvenation, the kind we hope for Iheanacho here. Can you recall any?
Yeah, before I go to that, I just was talking about Ederson the other time. I think the club he joined was actually Fenerbahce, not Galatasaray. Yeah, right. So our viewers is so Fenerbahce. Yeah, also club. Yeah. So, but if you talk about reunion, I think it's very hard now. I can't remember in the last 5-6 years, or in fact on the last one decade of any player or making a reunion with his other, maybe his former club or or coach that's actually standard. I can't. It's hard. You can't look, because we saw Ronaldo coming back to Manchester United, and we know how he ended. It was war. It's not about being flop. There was chaos everywhere. The manager, the dressing room, in fact, everywhere it was. Up to today, I think they are still trying to clean up the mess which Manchester United have not been able to. And like I said, in the last one decade, I'm still trying to find. I can't really name a single player that I've seen is either a reunion with the manager or with the club that's ended with. Look at we recently talked about Ike Gundogan. He came back to Manchester City under one season, and everything didn't go well. The first time was okay, but this second one, it was really poor, and so
was at their worst in 7 years.
Yeah, so I don't think there is. I can't at the moment I can't really mention one name.
Right. So viewers, you heard that. We can't seem to find a reunion that has worked in the last couple of years. So at the same time, we're still going to wish Kelechi Iheanacho, the Nigerian international, the best of luck at Celtic.